Welcome back everyone to VCT Verizon Game Changers, where CLG have just showed up and absolutely dominated Moon Raccoons. I'm your host Yingsu and I'm joined by Miss Harvey and Evil Cat. Steph, you're always a superior analyst. I for some reason, like when it's us three, you are always right. I'm never gonna doubt you. I'm sorry, Mimi, Team Steph here. But that game just felt like Moon Raccoons were just outclassed. There's nothing more than that, right?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of two things. First of all, I do feel that CLG has been like crossing the T's and just being so on point as the tournament is progressing. And on top of it, I do feel that Moon Raccoon is running out of steam, something that I didn't think would happen today after, you know, following them for the last months in various tournaments and as well as brackets and whatnot. So is this just a fluke map for Moon Raccoon, or is CLG really just in a different tier today? And I'm gonna have to say today because I do believe that Moon Raccoon has been so good and so impressive. But unfortunately, you know, a tournament is multiple days long, and you have to be that team that consistently shows up. And we're gonna need to see a Moon Raccoon that wakes up for map 2, or else we're gonna go quickly to a grand final tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, the question is, can they wake up? And I think in that, can they reset after that? Because that's just like something you just as a team, which is really hard to do sometimes. After you get stomped out, just being able to disengage, black out that last map, that's something that teams like CLG are very good at because of their experience. But we haven't seen Moon Raccoons have to do that yet, because in all their previous series, up until this morning, they've not dropped a map. This is the first map in the tournament they've dropped to someone who isn't Cloud9 White. So I'm guessing they're reeling a little bit. They need to go back, they need to reset, and they need to come into things strongly on Haven, which is one of their best maps, but I don't know if they're going to be ready for it with how well CLG was looking.
Well, now maybe the map picks and bans are really interesting, because I understand why Moon Raccoons banned Bind, right? Because that makes sense to them. They don't want to have that rematch again. They want to do something different. But do you feel like, other way around even, do you feel like Moon Raccoons letting the Icebox through was a mistake? Because this map doesn't feel like one that they've been that prepared on.
I mean, yeah, we were talking about this during the break, and I think that Icebox, like, floating that map was a big mistake, because Bind, it was close, yeah, it was a tight series, but they won it last time, and they've looked good on Bind sometimes in the past. It's a map that CLG wasn't playing a whole ton up until this, so I think that if they had let that through, maybe allowed that to be a map on the table, that would have been better. But leaving Icebox in, I mean, from what we saw, it was clearly a mistake for them, because they just got really outclassed.
And there's a lot of factors here at play. You know, they just lost to C9 White on Icebox, but they showed up. They did great. And on top of that, the way that CLG played Bind versus Dig, you know, with that new Sky setup with Cypher, like switching the agents. It's a completely different agents that they played versus Moon Raccoon. Maybe Moon Raccoon was like, okay, they swapped it up. We don't want to play that. And we know we were really good on Icebox, so let's just go with it. But fortunately for Dab, CLG is even better on Icebox than what we could have expected.
Yeah, CLG are on a roll right now. They have a lot of momentum behind them, but there are 2 maps left. Well, if they can close it out on the next one, there's just going to be 1 map left. But let's remind everyone at home of the picks and bans. Of course, we just had the Icebox, and we're going to be going on to Haven and then Split. Steph, do you feel like this is where CLG will be able to close it out? Because they have been pretty good with closing maps out in the past, especially when they're mentally behind, and now they're mentally ahead. This is probably going to go okay for them.
Yeah, CLG Red is a very, very calm team. Probably one of the most calm team I've ever met. Like, their core 3-4 players, it's just so cool and calm and collected. So I'm sure that first map is already behind, and they're focusing on the second one. And they've been really successful this weekend onto Heaven. So I'm excited to see how well we're going to be able to adapt when it comes to Maroon 5. I did it!
Oh my God.
Every time!
I'm gonna have to point that I have this little Moon Raccoon on my screen because it keeps saying Maroon 5. All right, so I want to see Moon Raccoon really show up here. That's where Lori with their op can do wonders. She was so good versus Cloud9 White, and I want to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you bring up the factor of Lori. I think that Moon Raccoons, the way they play, it's very reliant on space being made, and that comes down to the duo of Lori and Diana, opening up sites, creating that space, finding the impact, and even when it comes down to it, finding the clutches and the big plays. And the rest of the team plays really well off of that when it's working, when they get flowing, when they can just kind of send it in and control the pace. But on Icebox, they had no control. CLG were the ones holding W. They were the ones just kind of going in and killing everybody, to be honest. Like, it didn't feel like there was much of a fight being put up. And they need to change that. They need to get into control a little bit more.
Well, Mimi, what do you think the win condition here is for Moon Raccoons? Because if they lose the next map, not only will they not be able to go to the grand finals, they're going to be out of the tournament.
I mean, I think beyond just like individual players stepping up and like the coordination, like there's many things we could bring up, but I think it just needs to be they need to reset. They need to know they're a good team. They need to be able to just put that map behind it because they're young. They don't have as much experience as CLG. They need to be able to put that behind them, reset themselves, and be ready into Haven, a map which they're very strong on, Yinsu.
Well, this is it, ladies and gents. We are one map away from potentially having both of our teams in the grand finals, but it's not over yet for Moon Raccoons. I'm sure they are looking forward for some revenge, Steph and Mimi.
Yes, thank you so much, Yinzu. We are at Agent Select, and no surprise here, everyone's locking in really quickly, Mimi. Anything that's surprising to you here as we look? We have a Cypher Killjoy, but like I said, nothing that's surprising.
No, yeah, nothing is really coming out different for me. This is what we've kind of seen with both these teams on these maps before, so I don't think that this is going to be won or lost with any like creative agent select. I think that the Moon Raccoons, they just need to get that map behind them, get back into things, and for CLG, they just need to keep the momentum going, but not let it make them overzealous, not let it make them feel overconfident, because, well, they might have had a great showing there. Moon Raccoons is never a team to count out.
Yeah, and that's a brand new map. Brand new mindset, I hope, as well. Like I said, I've been loving just watching these girls. You know, Moon Raccoon, we have to say it. They are really young players. We have a 16 years old, a 20 years old. I don't even know the other ages of the other players, but this is a really, really young team that's going to keep progressing. So no matter the outcome of this map, I'm excited for it. But CLG is going to go ahead and contest that orb and right away get two. So this is kind of a nightmare round already for Moon Raccoon.
Yeah, it sure is. This is already a very tough spot. Spike down. They will be able to pick that back up into their possession, but in this situation, they need a frag early on. They need to open some space back into this, and CLG is making that very hard for them.
There's going to be a little bit of a reset here for Moon Raccoon. CLG doesn't want any of it. They keep going aggro. Benita getting the first, but Chobo cleaning this up. CLG again winning the pistol round. Did they win both pistol rounds on Icebox? No.
They lost one.
Won the second one. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. But winning at least in the lead. Continuing that lead onto map number 2. They're all gonna buy SMGs. And Moon Raccoon here, you know, there's not much to comfort them here. You know, if you get that pistol, you can say, okay, we got this, you know, momentum is back. But right now, CLG still feeling so confident coming into map 2.
I mean, clearly, Benita's not on the Reyna anymore, but she was playing like she might have been, just running in, doubling down that damage. And look where Naomi is, pushed up, very aggressive. Diana holding in close behind the box. She'll get whisked away a little bit, and Naomi will decide to back away for the time. But I do like the way that CLG is playing the anti-eco. I could very easily see them just kind of run it down and just go for the kills. But they're still playing a little more passive, playing it a little more smart, because they know that MRB might think that they want to do that after the showing they've had thus far. That wall is up on Garage, makes that a non-factor, and B-site will be the committal up for the Moon Raccoons. Animal is here to spray down the anti-eco queen, but it might just be Chobo instead, because she finds 3. And CLG, they continue the streak of not losing these conversions.
Chobo has been a great story evolving throughout the weekend. You know, she was not necessarily pulling a lot of numbers, but still being a good teammate. But, you know, today she's just been getting these double and triple kills. It's been really quite awesome. But I want to say how good the wall from Animal was. She's playing that Sova extremely interestingly. Not Sova, Sage. Extremely oh my God, Mimi, what's going on? But yeah, the way that she's playing reactive with it, really aggro sometimes, I'm really liking it.
This isn't really that reactive. This is very active. They're taking pace, taking control. And again, just run it down C, get a frag, and the Moon Raccoons have to fall away. They already have a player up in mid. Chobo's ready for a flank as soon as they commit. Camera sees them. They're up long. Naomi in close. Flank quickly a factor. But Naomi's the one to watch because she could have multiple here. The first ready. Looking for some more. The Blade Storm up for Chobo, but no shots connecting. However, the last two of the Moon Raccoons are completely boxed into this area. They need a kill or two to get out. Animal ready. Flanking up. Paranoia through. And the frag on Lori as well. It not Han. She's the last woman standing. Gets two. Almost a third. But no. Animal finds the frag. And CLG find 3.
Okay, this is where Moon Raccoon needs to shut CLG down. They need to get these entry pushes and shut it down because right now CLG is at the very, very thin line of, I don't want to say a disrespect because it's working, but they just are running and doing plays and pushing and punishing and just not letting Moon Raccoon breathe at all. Last round felt like an anti-eco from CLG. The way that they played it, I didn't even feel that Moon Raccoon had guns. But we're gonna have to see that eco happening now. Except Diana with her Marshall, and she's gonna get a beautiful kill onto Benita. This is the kind of kills we need to see from Moon Raccoon if they want a shot into this game.
Yeah, you talked about Chobo a little earlier. Remember, she's not even officially signed to CLG. 2 of their players aren't. It's just kind of these core 3. They were trialing people out and found a team for this competition, and it's clearly working pretty well for them because they at least have guaranteed themselves that 3rd place position. However, if we talk about the round at hand, it's a 4v4, and the Moon Raccoons, they're in a pretty good spot here, but the aggression's up, and so is the resurrection. So Benita back in play, and they'll adjust back towards the C site.
And all of Moon Raccoon is getting ready for a pop execute, but Rise Paranoia is also ready, and she's gonna throw it and hope that Chobo can swings and get some kills.
Ooh, Diana.
But Diana with the triple, and she's gonna be able to hear herself.
Yeah, outcomes
2 versus 3.
Yeah, Diana making a case for the possibility of this, but she's alone now. 1 up long, they could just shoot her. Her body's out in the open, and I think this is over. Goodbye, Diana, and goodbye the chances in the round for the Moon Raccoons. CLG seem to just be running with this momentum step.
Yeah, and I believed in that play. If someone from Moon Raccoon stays alive here to protect her body, but unfortunately now me just having fun again. Everybody is kind of running around, but Chobo here coming in big with the operator. It's not gonna be Benita on this map, and if I recall, we saw previously in the tournament Chobo do a lot of great things with the sniper onto Haven. So really want to see, let's check on the minimap. She's going towards A long, so there's going to be a little bit of poke and pride because she's going to be facing a couple of Moon Raccoon's players here.
Yeah, the blind's up, so she has to fall away from her line. It's good that Moon Raccoons have the confidence to push up like that, to take care of them.
Yeah.
But still, the matter of finding a round, of even finding an entry frag, is very important because look how they're playing this stuff. How do you feel about them still being so passive here? I don't know. We might have to wait for that question because the Hunter's Fury has just killed Diana.
Everything is going CLG's way. It's kind of, you know, I mentioned there was a little bit of luck, but there's definitely something going on. They need to buy some lottery tickets because look at this. Everything that they're doing, not only are they getting away with little whiffs, but they're also killing Moon Raccoon without even seeing them quite often.
Yeah, it feels like the structure isn't really working their way because CLG is just pushing extremities everywhere. But no, maybe it's still working because the Moon Raccoons have found a few frags. Where are they now? They have C-site control. They have a post plant. Lori bonks her head on the ceiling, trying to dash up. So they have a post plant. Time to long, but one of these players already so low. Work back in. He's waiting a moment for CLG. They don't have a wall in play. They might just have some cloud bursts, so this long positioning could be really big for the girls of MRB. They really need this round. desperately so. The site now cleared ever so carefully. She's on the spike, trying to hold it to half, but the paranoia is up. Both Cloudbursts use Animal. She wants to hold this, wants to keep it going. It's already halved. That's really big for CLG because the Moon Raccoons now have to swing out, have to fight. Panini finds two. It's a 1v1. Chobo not on the spike. It's already half. She still has time, but has to dash away. Hit on Han spraying, and she gets it. MRB again, they'll find a round. This time, maybe it's soon enough for them.
Yeah, I like to see that CLG also needs to take a breather here because they were up by 2. It was a 5 versus 3, but there was a little bit of weird moment happening. You saw Rise into window kind of challenge that garage with their knife out. Like, it was kind of weird. And that's when it all fell apart for CLG. So that retake was a good effort, but I thought that Moon Raccoon won that round a little bit earlier. So first round of the scoreboard already kind of better than what we saw into Icebox, but like you said, I still think that Moon Raccoon is playing CLG's game here. And look at CLG just going down middle. They're gonna gather so much intel to tell their teammates to say, hey, I think that Moon Raccoon is going to B or to A here because everything else has been cleared.
Yeah, they have so much space to work with. The Killjoy lockdown up, Benita trying to push. She's actually not even taking damage, able to fall away. The Moon Raccoons can't seem to punish. Out onto the site they come. It not Han finds Benita towards middle, but on the site the blind's good to at least get one frag. That's on to Rise. One in hell though, Chobo. How has she managed to find 2 frags? How is she still fighting? With HP on her side, the Cloudburst will fall, and she's blinded out by Panini. So a 2-on-3. MRB, they maintain the vantage, but the retake for CLG can come in quickly. Swarm grenades keep them out on one front, and up in heaven, Naomi's position should now be known by the Moon Raccoons. She's peeking out, looking for a shot. The crossfire's good. She still gets one, and now has to hop up, has to do something, and It Not Han gets second for MRB.
Yeah, 3 kills from her this round. So Moon Raccoon, although like I mentioned, they're playing CLG's game, it still came out in their favor. CLG was not able to hold that A bomb site. Yes, Shobo got a double kill before falling, but the 2 other players that were kind of supporting her, I think it might have been just one other player kind of supporting her, kind of fumbled inside the site. So good display of Moon Raccoon's, I want to say teamwork here, but it's still not the greatest convincing moment, but we'll take it. 2 rounds in a row is already doubling up what we did on Icebox.
Yeah, Moon Raccoon's looking a little bit better now, a little bit safer now. Well, has an advantage line here into the pocket, and anyone wants to bait in for her. But the way the Moon Raccoons are playing, they've really allowed these pushes, Steph. There's people up aggressive in so many spots.
Yeah, I like that little bait and switch happening over here. But you're right. Look at everybody from CLG is pushed. Moon Raccoon has 0 intel here. They're stuck in their spawn. We have a Cypher pushed at C, a Benita pushed at long, as well as somebody pushed towards B.
Yeah.
You know, CLG just not wanting to get executed on.
And Naomi ready in close, but Diana prepared for the fight. Has to keep pushing here. No time to heal. Wants to double down on this advantage. The slow orbs up. Here comes the from the shadows. Where's that taking? Into the back site for a teammate. It's Chobo to do in for Diana. She'll dash away, trying to get antsy through the smoke, and she'll push again. Cloudburst allows it, and they're in quickly onto the site. Animal expects Panini. Is she ready? Yes, she will be. Chobo helps out as well. Now it's everyone towards long. Free from CLG to the 2 of MRB. And everyone's on site, everyone's ready. Still smokes keep them off. Shock darts incoming, we see it. It's already half through the smoke though. Might deny that. Chobo takes 1. Chobo takes 4 in the round. What is she made of here? Because she has stepped things up on Haven.
She has, and she's really showing why she's a contender at being a potential CLG sign-up. Look at this, 14 kills, finally really doing wonders. It is also, you know, she is in the jet. She's that kind of player that needs to do exactly what she's doing, poking pride and getting some kills and really putting CLG ahead into the rounds. And although, let me just tell you, although Naomi kind of fell really early in this round, I like how Animal played it again. She used a slow orb and pushed Moon Raccoon back a little bit and then fell, like gave up the site and played that retake, you know. And these the kind of play that, you know, CLG has been able to build with her throughout like 1 week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's quite awesome to see it.
I mean, it's the information game that seems to be the biggest thing lost right now for the Moon Raccoons. Because they allow CLG up into these really good positions practically every round.
We're in some sort of a save here with a couple of upgraded pistols, and Moon Raccoon is kind of split up here. Panini, the first person to try to get an entry frag, but there's also someone right under Animal, and I don't think she's aware of it. This could have been dangerous. As we're going to see 3 players from CLG head towards A. Not quite sure what the read was, because all of Moon Raccoon is getting ready for a split towards C here.
Yeah, out they'll come. Paranoia up onto the first rise. Ready. This is just an anti-eco, so it should be easy for CLG. Thus far it is, but Lori gets a response in, and the Sheriff's ring true for even odds. Now Animal peeking out of the smoke. CLG has no respect. Pushing straight on in. Fighting immediately. The spike's down, which helps the Moon Raccoons, but the player's falling. Chobo up on this flank. Up a little bit late. Will counter off Flowerful.
Another round in on the board for CLG as they close it at 6. So it's not over for Moon Raccoon. They still have a shot of having a 6-6 round. I want to see how they handle this. So they know that CLG is pushing everywhere. They haven't been able to really shut it down. So this time that they have guns, you know, you have to do some sort of default and just deny that information that CLG is getting. Like, they cannot be able to push all 3 bomb sites at the same time after only 20 seconds left without Moon Raccoon even punishing them. That's just not going to be possible for them to win this half if they keep doing that.
Doesn't feel like it would be. Hunter's 3 up for it, not Han. Did you get anything with it? No, not really. Just a tag onto Naomi, but is that even worth it? Because Naomi finds Diana amidst the Hunter's fury. CLG, though, they're still here. Will they be ready for the Moon Raccoons in the smoke? They want to just pop out of this, take the fight straight in, but it won't happen. They decide against it, disengage for the time, and CLG, as the sneaky players of the Moon Raccoons tuck in, so too does CLG. They have the perfect read here. The only X factor is that one lurker towards mid.
Not only do they have the perfect read,
They committed.
but when Moon Raccoon is gonna push, like, everything is gonna be countered. CLG is just ready. There's 4 players.
Lori gets so many. Naomi on the trade back into the 3K. Flowerful, another on the site. The Moon Raccoons, they want to fight into this stuff. They wanted to execute, but I mean, I don't think either of us expected them to commit that. Like, no one was ready for that. It just felt like they had no info into it. They had the one player in mid, that lurker, but they didn't get any information with it. They didn't capitalize, and they ran right into a stacked site. This just feels disjointed, would be the word I would use.
Yeah, I think that I like the disengage, because if you don't go and commit with the initial Hunter's Fury, you know, if they had committed with Diana before she fell, they could have traded Naomi and then exploded with the Hunter's Fury. I would have liked that. But after the disengage, I think they went a little too fast. They didn't allow CLG to get baited or see a fake of somehow. CLG has not been faked once in this game because they have all the intel in the world.
Yeah, they sure do. Rise up top. They're trying to pressure in onto her. Lori has the blades, but Naomi has the advantage. Powerful, still finding impact and all of it elsewhere, so it doesn't matter for the gals on the site take. And again, they have it, but here comes the Hunter's Fury. Deny the plant of the spike for the moment. Rise still here. Lori up close, wants to fight into it, has it. Now that's the Lori that we're looking for, the one hitting shots, taking fights and winning them, but she can't do 2. Jobo for that. Now they're running back from Diana, but everyone's escaping from her. She'll at least upgrade her weapon, if nothing else. Now the Moon Raccoons, they're tucked into the site, not playing from long, not playing in close, but Diana ready, and so is Panini up top. 1 for her. Now the Moon Raccoons, again, they have advantage, but we've said that before, and it hasn't always worked. Panini ready for this. The lockdown keeps them out, but now here they'll come. Rise finds it, the better Spectre. Diana ready with a flash, but can't get it. Now it's just Flowerful. This shouldn't be a clutch. It shouldn't be this close. And now she'll have to do it. Swarm grenades keep them off. Time ticking away, a huge factor for CLG. They need to hold on to this, need to keep on it. She's spamming away, wants to get Bonita off. Bonita's holding it though, keeping on it, but there's not enough time. The bomb goes off, Flowerful holds on, but I mean, that was still the tightest of margins.
I mean, this was a close round, but we'll take it if you're Moon Raccoon. It doesn't matter, because even though you don't have the answer, you're going to need a little bit of luck. You're going to need a little bit of these really tight round if you want to add some points onto the scoreboard. But this was so much better. I really like that Moon Raccoon finally wanted to disrupt CLG. Even though they lost the player early into the round, they kept fighting towards Garage. They kept fighting towards Spawn. They were gathering and picking apart CLG's defense a little bit better in that retake, not allowing CLG to be on a full-on clean retake. So they're going to need to keep doing that, because that's how they've been excelling, even versus Cloud9 Whites. These rounds where they're going for the kills, where they don't have any fear, is when they've been successful.
It does feel like that's the main key to their success. The Moon Raccoons, again, this time they're going quick, but the blinds go both ways, and Bonita seems to be the victor of it. She has 2 on the site already, still kicking at the Moon Raccoons. They're forced to disengage. They're forced away, Steph.
Yeah, but CLG has that read. We see Chobo here pushing towards A and clearing it, while the rest of CLG is already towards C. We have 2 members of CLG getting ready, and that recon is not even going to give much intel. That paranoia ready. Rice is looking to just get freebies here. Is she gonna get the first kill? Oh, that was a struggle, and she's gonna fall onto Panini. Oh no.
Yeah, now the Moon Raccoons, they seem to have control of this round, but it's only a 2-on-2. It's not confirmed either way. Rotates a bit late from Chobo, and Naomi's already up on the site. She knows they like to play from long, so will be able to clear it out, get themselves into position. That's one swarm gone. That's crucial seconds taken off the stall clock of the Moon Raccoons. Chobo on the spike. Naomi sitting in. I think they think it's covering it, because she just stuck it to half. And Naomi just got a crucial pick onto Panini. Just 3 seconds. She has to be casting it off. She will, looking for the adjustment, and Flowerful does it in the clutch.
0.03 seconds before that spike was fully diffused. You know, it's kind of a gamble, 50-50. Do I full commit, or do we play the trade here? And unfortunately, Flowerful was so committed in the wide that, you know, I think the play in the call should have been, hey, I'm going to fake it and let's just fight Flowerful, because she swung out wide and she would have been an easy trade. So I want to give props for Flowerful for getting the double, especially getting the spike diffuser first. But still, these rounds are too close for comfort.
Yeah, they are. The Moon Raccoons again coming up onto the site. This time they have an anti-eco at hands, but Animal and her Bucky, name a better duo between the Sage and that weapon. And Naomi in the back line with her cages wants to come into things. The Raccoons, they want to make this a 5-7 half. They really need to. But CLG still is trying to give them a run for the money. Retreating towards long, Flowerful for 1. There's just 2 players left for CLG, and with the weaponry at hand, it shouldn't be a possibility. Naomi peeking up towards long, gets 1. A flat down to 5 HP, and in a 1v3, the Molly will do her in. And MRB, they do find 5-7, a much closer affair than we even saw in the entirety of that last game.
Yeah, that was a beautiful round. That's exactly what Moon Raccoon kept doing to CLG yesterday's, and as well to C9. So why haven't we seen this type of gameplay up until now? That is the question, but it's not really gonna matter, because now they're going on their defense side. They don't have that necessarily that play style on defense. Actually, they're quite the opposite. They usually play a little bit passive, gather that intel, and retake in 5 versus 5. That's what we saw in Icebox. That's why we saw it all weekend. They don't give easy picks. So that game, we still have a game in our hand, Mimi. This could go all the way. I wouldn't be surprised here if we have a third map, just because winning these last 3 rounds was key for Moon Raccoon to just stay into this game. And finally, they're showing sign of life. Out of the 5 rounds, the last one is my favorite.
Yeah, because it was finally clean. I mean,
Yeah,
remember
exactly.
earlier, even when they did have those anti-ecos, anti-force buys, they couldn't do it in a clean manner. And finally, they
Yep.
found an anti-force buy that worked well for them, and I was very happy to see it. This is a little bit more what we expected from the Moon Raccoons. What I'm sure most people watching this right now probably were thinking that it was a foregone conclusion that the Moon Raccoons would get into the finals. I think that was what a lot of people thought, but CLG, they are sure making a case that they are on a dominant run, that they want to make it all the way, and that they thrive in this lower bracket. Now the Moon
Yeah,
Raccoons have a chance. I mean, they only got one
CLG
pistol round, right?
Yeah. But it could be an even affair. It could be a 2-2 pistol rounds here if Moon Raccoon runs away. But I want to say if CLG wins this map, they're probably would have wished that they played the grand final today, because something today is clicking for CLG, but it's not over until it's over. And Moon Raccoon on the defending side of to Evan still has the shot of getting to that grand final, but Shobo here is gonna be that spacer, that entry duelist that CLG is looking for, but this time she's gonna get shut down right away by Hitnahan.
Yeah, now they have what we like to see for the Moon Raccoons, those retakes and heavy odds for both, but now they have advantage. And they'll start to actually make their way towards Garage. They need to fight this control. They will. Takes care of Naomi. So now 5v3 on the cards. They're starting to get on the spike. Shock darts up. So are the blinds. And in close, in your face, Lori has you. Benita last in the window. Spike should become diffused. She shouldn't have a chance, and she won't.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, it's now 2 for 2 in pistols, so evening things out in Moon Raccoon, winning it. And Mimi, at some point we thought this map was getting away from Moon Raccoon, but look at the scoreline. It's already 6-7 for CLG Red. We're already only one round away for Moon Raccoon. So after this potentially eco round from CLG, we might be on a tie game. And potentially having Moon Raccoon being in the lead for the first time in 2 rounds. So this is a great map that we have today on Two Haven. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am excited as well. Ready to see what they can do in this one. Diana has that Marshall peeking up. Could have maybe even gotten a collapse. She won't. Instead, Chobo dashing down. Very little HP, but still finds the frag. However, the Molly from the Afterlife keeps them away for now. And Moon Raccoons, they decide to just play this as a retake. Wait till they have the advantageous situation, as the spike should come down on the site.
And everybody is ready for a retake, but you see here, Benita is going to try to go for a flank. She wants to go for that A-Link flank, but for that to be successful, her team needs to stay alive as long as possible. Glory here coming in, getting the kill into Shobo, but Flowerful at the same time getting 2 of her own. Naomi needs to get that intel. She needs to stop that diffuser, because we're gonna see a full diffuse here.
Yeah, the Moon Raccoons, that was really good from them. I love the anti-eco. Even though they lost the first player, the decision to just commit to the retake where they know they're very good at it, I think that worked really well for them. They were a little too late up on the flank for CLG, so it's back to tied odds here.
It is tied. 5 rounds in a row from Moon Raccoon. This definitely is going to be a boost of confidence. We can see that the players are starting to loosen up a little bit less stale than when this series came out. We're going to see our bonus round from Moon Raccoon. No one is really going to upgrade. We even still have a pistol in the hands of Diana, but everybody on CLG is fully equipped, and looks like we're going to go into a pop fast B here. And against Diana's pistol, this could be a pretty successful read here from CLG.
It sure could be, but Diana's pistol that you talk about works well. She actually picks up 2. How is she doing this against rifles, against the superior weaponry? She might not be able to. Still, the Moon Raccoons, it's over before it even started.
What just happened, Mimi? It completely got demolished in a, I'm gonna say, a really good read from CLG Red. But like you said, that pistol, getting the 2 kills, able to pick up a freebie weapon. CLG is going to be in a safe here, and Moon Raccoon, for the first time in this series, is going to be up by 1 in the lead. We also have a running back ready, so if I'm Moon Raccoon, I'd probably keep it for next round.
Yep.
Hey, that was really good, though.
Yeah, I think that was a lot better from them. This is what we love to see from the Moon Raccoons. It looks like we could have a series on our hand, and Lori wants that to be the case with her off as fast as we expect her to be. The great shot onto Naomi. The turret pushes Chobo back, and Rise 2 is quelled from her push into the middle. Now MRB, with this advantage, they'll give a lot of space away. It looks like Diana could be inkling for a fight. She will be. It'll come, and Rise will lose it. Diana still keeping herself on top of things. And look how fractured CLG Red is. Every player on a different part of the map.
Yeah, they're trying to go for picks here with a couple of sheriffs, but it's not successful. Most of CLG players has fallen. Yep, has fallen, and Shobo and Annie here kind of drop some guns at least. I think at this point you're not really expecting to win the round, but you want to do more damage than what you've done so far. But nobody from Moon Raccoon is gonna fall. Diana getting the last kill onto Chobo. This is it, Mimi. We need CLG Red to stop this comeback. 7 rounds in a row I can count. I'm seeing on the timeline. You know, that means at 7 rounds in a row, you had no answer for Moon Raccoon's playstyle. And while I think the CLG Red momentum was great, they kind of maybe got overconfident in the last couple of rounds onto their defending side. It's kind of not paying off, if I'm gonna say right now, as Lori gets the first kill onto Animal.
Yeah, great push up with the operator getting aggressive. Remember what we saw in the previous iteration of this matchup? Moon Raccoons found momentum and CLG never found a way to stop it. That was the story of that match. Yep. And the Moon Raccoons 2-0'd CLG Red that time. It seemed the other way around, but now this is more normal from the Moon Raccoons. They find the momentum, they find the vantage, and CLG with this weaponry, they'll push out. Actually, no, they're sneaky. They're contacting into the B site. Panini suspects it, but won't know the full story quite yet. CLG, they're starved for information. Someone has to make a play here before they can get the spike down. They suspect Panini. She peeks out, gets one. Traded through, though. That's a good advantage to be found by the Moon Raccoons. They can play retake here, what they love to do. And out will come It Not Han, crunching in on Chobo. Benita fights one, but Chobo blindsided by the Sova. The remainder of the CLG players in the link, fighting their way back into the B site where this all started. And finally now the spike can come down. No, they're actually going all the way to A. I love this call, but with only 30 seconds left, Hunter's Fury could at very least delay if the Moon Raccoons want to invest it. They will. Keeps her off the plant for now. Rise trying to go back in for it on a double dip. She will, and now that's no tag with the Hunter's Fury. And in the post plant, there is one for CLG, Lori. She's up top looking for something, but they're going so quickly, Steph. They have so much information. Tap on the spike. They should force out the Hunter's Fury, but in comes Lori, and she whiffs the right click. Benita could be on for an ace here, and she won't be because Rise has the last one. The Moon Raccoons, they had every advantage in that round.
Yeah, it was such a chaotic round, though. I like the way CLG Red handled that B bomb site when you had Panini back at the Kong back site behind that wall. You know, just the fact that they didn't make any noise. So no one from Moon Raccoon rotated because there was no intel. This could have been a fake. That's what Panini was probably saying. I have no contact, I have no intel, like don't rotate. We don't know what's going on. And that's in that chaos that Benny found 3 kills. Back and forth between B and C and then running back towards A. And I have to say, Lori, you're a great player, but I don't know if the dash long to try to kill Biddy was the play here.
I don't know. She sees one to jump up. That's perfect from Lori. She heard you, Steph. She's going to redeem herself right now.
I like it.
Yeah. Now for CLG. Remember last time they had the disadvantage. They had the player down. And they still could recover because MRB got a little bit overzealous with it. They weren't winning the fights.
Drone versus drone at middle. Both teams trying to gather some intel. We want to know where our players are playing, but I like this Hunter's Fury slash positioning from CLG, but they're still falling left and right.
Lori up through the smoke there with the op, looking for a frag. It won't come. Instead, it's Chobo. A Jet v Jet won by her. Again, this B site compromised, and MRB is holding on to the extremities. But that's exactly what CLG want. They're pushing up, run it back in. Flowerful has to protect Diana, and she will very well for 2 frags. Just Benita left alive, but just Benita, that's a scary proposition. 30 seconds, she knows where they are. She can go to C, but she still wants a fight. Both now, low. They could invest the ultimate here, but they're not going to want to probably. They might have to still. CLG, it's just Benita, but she has the spike down. And they're waiting for this. They'll have to rotate in stuff.
She has 1 shock dart and now a recon bolt as well. So this is a winnable situation. This is exactly what Flowerful won for her team a little bit earlier. So Benita has plenty of time to play this clutch. There's nothing to block that vision too from Moon Raccoon.
Not. Now Benita peeking out with the recon, gets 1 in the second as well, Benita! There's no way! There's no chance that CLG can do that! 2 magical rounds back to back, Steph.
Yeah, and she didn't even need her shock dart. She was like, I'm gonna ping with that recon. They're probably gonna want to shoot it. And that worked out. CLG winning back that tie point that they needed. Back to back. Just gonna be breathing a little bit better. I know that Moon Raccoon is able to buy Lori on the sniper still, but finally CLG in that chaos is striving, and that's twice that it's happened while they took control of B. So this time Moon Raccoon doesn't want it to happen again. Look at how many players are close to that B bomb site.
There's a lot in there. Diana has a position up towards middle. They might even have mid-window under her domain. CLG Red working their way towards the A site. It's a retake setup for MRB so they can get it for free, barring the utility. But they lose advantage, and now that pushes them, forces them onto the site. Rise, teleporting up into heaven, but has to cancel. And now, site compromise. The retake on the cards. Flowerful, she has this ultimate, and she will choose to use it. I don't know if they have anything to counter it, unless shock darts can come in. And for CLG, they seem relegated to moving away from disengaging from it. Diana has the molly in for graffiti. The push comes out, so a trade each way. Lori up top in heaven has the op. This can work well for her if she can find a clean shot. Flowerful on the defuse. Lori misses, but she's bailed out by Panini, who keeps pushing. Benita's still here, but the defuse comes through cleanly, and the Moon Raccoons on the retake regain their advantage.
Yeah, a little bit too fast for Rise's flank here as CLG was falling apart. That full defuse while there were 2 CLG players alive. That's not something you like to see. That means, you know, either the communication or the lockdown. It could have been just the Killjoy lockdown that was so powerful, pushed CLG away. That was enough for Moon Raccoon to get that full defuse. But we still are going to see a full buy here out of CLG. I'm wondering if Shobo is going to go for a Spectre. I want out if there's a gun on the ground for her. But nevertheless, oh, she's going with her knives, guys. And she's almost catching Panini off guard. But CLG wants to commit with that ultimate towards B.
They do. Diana spamming away at the wall. They're using her utility to keep them from pushing in immediately. They still look like they have their eyes set on it. Moon Raccoons ready outside. Rise has a TP in. They like to take things slowly to be careful with it, and they also like to fight for Link. They'll try to, but Flowerful's there as well. Benita now holding the flank from Garage. Chobo will be the first to push into sight. She has the rifle to fall back on, and she'll recover it off her fallen comrade. And Lori with the op, still trying to hold them off, but it's a stalemate in middle. No one committing. No one making a move yet, except for that Chobo up fast. She doesn't need the blades. The rifle will do. And it'll bring it back into a 4v4.
A re-challenge for Lori is not going to pay off, but CLG really hasn't been doing much here. They're just waiting for potentially a mistake from Moon Raccoon, but the clock is ticking. 30 seconds left. So we're going to have to pick a site suit, and it looks like it's going to be Steve. So many players from Moon Raccoon there. So we're going to have to face a paranoia from Panini, as well as potentially some shock darts coming out. As they're going to have to commit here.
Oh, and they're just getting gunned down.
Yep.
It's the Moon Raccoons all the way over. Naomi, the lurk up Garage, she'll be taken care of as well. The Moon Raccoons, they did so much better there. And it didn't even have to be a retake.
Yeah, I didn't like how stale we stayed at mid if you're CLG. You know, they didn't have any map control. They didn't have C control or A control at long on both sides. And they were just kind of chilling there. So although Moon Raccoon is a very defensive team onto their defense, haven't set up, you know, they don't really go for picks that much, just a little bit of Lori left and right, but no one really pushes. I still think that CLG overstayed their welcome before deciding to pick a site.
Absolutely. Now up towards short here. Lori's ready with the op of proposition there. She has support from Diana to fight through the smoke. Chobo spraying. Diana should have the refrag in the bag. She will. Also curveball up. No one to face her immediately. So she'll escape with her life. And powerful pressure towards long. CLG reassess.
Yeah, good trades here, but we have Benita already up in garage. Good instinct play here as the whole rest of her team is going to be pushing. She needs to stay alive to at least control that connector area, and she will. Great play from Benita. She can't overextend or welcome. An extra body here for CLG Red is going to be key, and that's what she does. She's just going to fall back and secure the flank for CLG. It's a 3 versus 4 retake, Mimi.
It is. Now Flowerful. Up with the rifle, one directly below her. She's ready for the frag onto Annie Mall. The remainder of CLG here. Backed up except Benita. She has a flank, recovers a weapon now. This could be huge, and it might have to be. There's just Flowerful left. Might not be ready for Benita to her right, and it doesn't even matter because Naomi's there. They don't even need weaponry for CLG. How did that even happen, Steph?
It's experience. It's the way that Benita was able to make it to garage. Like I said, Moon Raccoon is so defensive. So Benita saw an opportunity and she was able to get that kill. What I like to see is that she never lost her mind onto that gun. Like, she was trying to figure out a way how to upgrade her pistol. And she said, you know what? Let me just dip from garage, go back around B and grab that gun on the floor. But I mean, it worked out. The way that she handled and called that round was beautiful for CLG. And once again, we're going to contest that C bomb site with our drones and potentially making some room with it.
Yeah, that will be the space gained heavily. Moon Raccoons again playing retake. But look at the ults they have in this. They do have the lockdown as well as the run it back to find their space back into things here. When will they use it though? When is it time to strike? Because CLG knows about the retake plays. We see one up on the flank and Naomi on the lurk here. This is so sneaky from Animal. She loves doing these things with walls to just hide in. We've seen it on Split before. What can she do this time? Let's see. Naomi for the first. Diana has the flank now, ready for it. Time is ticking away. The Moon Raccoons have to go quickly. What can the wall setup do from Animal? She'll peek out, let one pass. No, spamming away. Now she's known, and Lori has denied. Still alive behind the wall, still finding frags, actually. How is she still here? It's just Benita. She has the clutch. She's ready for this. Done it many times before, and she has to do it again. Hunter's Fury up now. It's already half. Already there, but the time's so low. They have to push. They have to kill her. They'll get her off, but it can't come through. It's way too late on the defuse. And CLG, how they keep pulling rounds out of the bag. They keep pulling these miracles.
Wow, I could not hear with everything that Benita was throwing. I could not hear the tick of the spike. I wasn't sure if there was enough time for Moon Raccoon to defuse. Benita utilizing her utility until the last second. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 1 versus 3. So great work from CLG Red stealing that round. I have to use the word stealing because I thought Moon Raccoon was coming back, especially from the way that they are handling their retakes. But we're going to see a really scrappy buy from Moon Raccoon, but they have no choice. It's 11-11, Mimi.
This could just barely slip through their fingers. The clutches is where CLG's winning it, where they're coming out on top. And CLG here, they know that. They know that they can pressure, that they have the upper hand. They don't even have to push. They can sweat the Moon Raccoons out.
So CLG is trying to see if Moon Raccoon is going to go for a push with the lack of weaponry that they think they have. But remember, CLG, that one time that they waited until 30 seconds to get into the site was not really successful for them. So I like what I'm seeing here. A little bit of a default coming from CLG, but Benita is going to get killed. The spike is down towards A as kills are getting exchanged towards B and A long. We have a res here coming on to Benita.
Yeah, Resurrection in place, so CLG regain advantage. It's a little awkward for them now. Hunter's Fury available. Will they choose to use it? They will, but it feels too late because it's not going to stop the plant and it might not even get a tag. Waiting for it? No, she won't connect. Nothing to come of it. Recon dart for the retake in 5 seconds. They probably wait for that, use that, and then Molly to push in. Wall broken. Every second will continue to put CLG in the right place. Panini already wary of the flank. ETConnect's drone coming past doesn't check on Animal, hiding behind the wall in graffiti. She's done this so many times, can she do it again? ETConnect has the recon up, they'll start the push out. Molly's good to find Naomi, but the time's still ticking away. They need to get on the spike soon, but it's just Benita, and Benita has been a thorn in their side. They need to push, need this revenge, but there's just no time on the defuse, Steph. They waited too long. So many rounds in a row, Benita keeps clutching.
How many clutches she done this game? But kind of insane. But you had the key analysis here. They waited too long. They wanted everything to be perfect so much that they didn't have enough time to defuse. Yeah, they killed everyone, but again, back to back, too late, you know? They were waiting for the smokes to dissipate. They were waiting for their abilities to recharge. They were waiting for the recon to pop and get that intel. But at some point, you gotta go. You gotta keep pushing. Even if everything is not perfect, you gotta trust your teammates to trade, you know? The abilities here in this game are supposed to be support. When it comes down to these retakes, you also want to take fights with guns. And they're winning the gunfights. Moon Raccoon, they're just disjointed when it comes to doing it with enough time to go for these defuse.
What can't Benita do at this point? She's the IGL of the team. She's the captain that it was built around. And she's also clutching so many rounds. Might be able to make the run possible for them into the finals. And in this last round of regulation, it could be the end of the Moon Raccoons. CLG here. Still on the default. Still ever waiting. Calm in their approach.
One of the slow rounds where no one wants to do the mistake first, Mimi, but CLG seems like they're heading towards a fake, at the last second fake, because there's no intel gathered from Moon Raccoon. We're gonna see Rise and Chobo try to fake a C take here, but the teleport towards Evan, towards L, excuse me, there'll be no fake, Mimi. We're just gonna straight up execute towards A for this last round of regular time.
Yeah, Diana has the entry though, and they have to go quicker. This is always the spell of disaster in the retakes. Here comes the ultimate, the lockdown pushes CLG away. And the Moon Raccoons are ready. They've learned from their errors and they'll come in quickly, clearing out the site, and they know that everyone's boxing along. That hot hands could do a lot, but Animal's still fighting. She falls. The Molly Naomi swings out for one, maybe a second. No, spamming away, still gets it though. And Chobo has this flank up. It's just on to Flowerful. She has to win it to keep her team in it. She can't. CLG, they do it too old-fashioned. They knock the Moon Raccoons out, and they make the ticket to the grand finals.
I can't believe we have a screen saying winner CLG red. Not a lot of people would have bet on this to go 2-0 their way. They showed up when it mattered, when it was elimination time to bring their team into the grand final out of lower bracket. Mimi, what a spectacular day it was, and what a spectacular showing CLG red, both versus Dignitas as well as Moon Raccoon Black have done today.
I mean, yeah, they had this miracle run. They were knocked down so early on and have just fought tooth and nail to keep going. And remember, this is the revenge for them. They got 2-0'd by the Moon Raccoons. They completely flipped the table, turn it around, and dominantly contend with that enemy that they had never found a solution for before. And now they have a chance tomorrow up against C9 White. But with that, I think we got to bring Yinsu back in to try and break down what even happened. What changed for CLG?
I am honestly Benita's #1 fan. I know she can, she can use the operator, she can run and gun, she can play more supportive, but most importantly, I counted, at least when I was watching this, she had 3 round-winning clutches that basically saved them every single time. You know, we had Moon Raccoons on the verge of hitting that double figures. In Valorant, when you hit 10 rounds, it gets a little bit scary. Your heart rate starts going, it gets a little bit iffy. It's kind of hard to get back into the game once your opponents are at that point. But Benita, 3 rounds, 3 times, she single-handedly, with her big brain, managed to clutch the situation out, managed to delay the defuse twice, managed that 1v2 on long, 1v2 clutch, which was just insane. It was technically a 1v3 because you had the Killjoy turret as well. And yeah, it was just a whole other level. Honestly, I can sit here and talk about Benita all day. And Steph, you know, you're familiar with her, you know what she can do. How impressed and I guess how proud are you to see that she's doing it at the highest level of Valorant?
Yeah, I'm really happy for her. Obviously, I've known Benita since she was 11 years old, so a lot of background between her and I. But I have to say, you know, her progress into Valorant has been a really amazing story, just from leaving CLG Red CSGO team and really building this team. But this is just the beginning, you know, for a team. As you know, I know Moon Raccoon is not signed, but CLG Red also is not a complete team. So there's still a lot of improvement that we're going to see happen from everyone that played in the server, and not just the server actually in this series, but everyone that played in this tournament. This is the second tournament that Riot support when it comes to the women in their game, and we're gonna see more surprising great storylines coming from these youngings. Like, this is what I was looking for when we started playing Valorant. You know, yes, there's a lot of veteran like Benita, like the girls on Dignitas, but we have newcomers, especially on the Moon Raccoon side, like 15, 16, 20 years old. They're just starting their career. Like, there's so much potential, so much star powers that's possible with them.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the Moon Raccoons, and I wanna continue to talk about them because I don't know if this is what people expected from them coming into it. Yes, they've done well in Valorant tournaments in the past, but coming up against competition of this tier, what I saw was beyond impressive in the round that they had. The only maps they've lost in the entire tournament and in the qualifiers were today. The maps they lost today was it for the Moon Raccoons, and like Steph was talking about, they're all so young. Like, there's players that are like 16, 18. Most of these people, you probably hadn't heard of them until this tournament, and to see them make such a deep run while also being unsigned is so impressive. So if you're an org out there and you're in need of like one of the best women's teams in the region, please someone pick them up, because I'm beyond impressed with them.
Yeah, it will be an absolute travesty to see these girls not get picked up and go as free agents. But as you mentioned, Steph, I mean, if it were me, like, I'd want to join Benita's team. If they're looking for players, I'm not by any means good enough, and I would be playing on over 100 ping over here in Europe. But if they're still looking for like a solid roster, I mean, they've done so well already. I mean, Steph, if they go on to win it tomorrow, if they do the unthinkable and bring down C9 White, what would this mean to a team like CLG?
You know, you have to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. I'm sure no one on CLG right now, not even behind the scene, the staff or the players, is thinking after, you know, the next match. So tomorrow they're going to be focusing on playing C9 White. This has been a long time coming for the girls to try to face that team, and you know, they weren't able to face them throughout the whole tournament. They were at the opposite side of the bracket. C9 was never knocked down into lower, so sure, they want to know how they match up versus that team. And you know, they did so good versus Moon Raccoon, who was able to really do so well versus C9, that I think we might have a great grand final in our hands.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same here, because I feel like early on CLG, they were looking good, but they weren't looking this good. They weren't looking like 2-0ing two big teams like they just did today from that run in the lower bracket. And the fact that they did that, if we see the same CLG that we just saw 2-0 the Moon Raccoons, one of the biggest teams in this tournament, then I think they have a fighting chance. I still think that, you know, the villains, the Cloud9 White, who have always been here, always been like knocking everyone down pretty indiscriminately, I think they're always going to be on top, but I think CLG, they sure do have a chance at it.
Well, Mimi, you know, in terms of Moon Raccoons, because we do have to say goodbye to them,
Mm-hmm.
but a third place finish, you know, in their first tournament as well. What did you make of their overall performance?
I don't think I'm sure they would have loved to win it, or at least get that second place, at least get that grand final. But for a new team, for young players to place this big early on, to put themselves out there in their first big showing and really impress, I think that they're gonna be, once they kind of get over the initial loss of this, they're gonna be happy about that, because what they did, the run they made in this tournament is huge. They weren't knocked down to the lower bracket. They made it through the uppers. They were spotless till today, and sometimes it just takes one bad day to knock a team out. But the Moon Raccoons, I'm so impressed, and I'm sure everyone else who got to watch them is too.
Yeah, no matter what you said, it Mimi, like, they have to be proud of what they did. They had nothing to lose, and they came in and they showed up big. And like I said, this is just the first step in their story, in their career right now, because I do think that we have years of talking about the Diana and Laurie duo, and just overall, all of these players are going to be in these Game Changers tournaments. I want to say week after week, but tournaments after tournaments, they're going to show up.
I mean, let's not forget that they took Cloud9 to double overtime, which is kind of nuts in itself. Now we are going to speak to a special someone on the CLG team. Steph, you know who this is. This is the post-match interview presented to you by Verizon. Welcome back to the stream, Benita. Great to see you again. Just right off the bat, I wanted to quickly rewind a little bit because you had that series against Dignitas earlier today. Why did you guys sort of change up your comp a little bit on Bind and go with the Sky?
I don't know. Honestly, I was just like, all right, guys, this might be the last BO3 of our tournament here, so let's just change it up, spice it up a little bit.
I mean, it worked out pretty well, so it was a good decision to make. Just on this map, you know, a lot of people going into this series, you guys versus the Moon Raccoons, probably lean towards Moon Raccoons a little bit just because of their performance right after against C9 White. How did you feel about that narrative, and did that sort of change or affect any of your game plan at all?
It didn't change our game plan or anything, but it was such an exciting match to watch. I loved watching, like, that whole BO3 it was great. It was a great match. And they're a great team. Moon Raccoons is a great team, C9 White great team. Both, like, everyone played so well.
Well, speaking of C9 White, before I pass this over to Steph, but they are extremely confident. I don't know if you saw the interview we had with Alexis earlier, but she said they were expecting Moon Raccoons to come back into the grand finals, and they wanted to sort of face them again because they wanted to stomp them a little bit harder. She said that in kind of like a tongue-in-cheek. You know what she's like. What do you make of that, and how confident are you, I guess, going into tomorrow's matchup?
I didn't watch the interview, but, you know, I don't really... It is what it is. Like, we're just really excited to be a part of this tournament, and I'm really excited to be a part of the finals. We worked pretty hard for this, so...
Yeah, very well deserved for sure. Yeah, Steph, I'll pass this over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I have so many questions. You and I go a long way, but really proud of you today. I have to say congratulations. Okay. I want to know what the comms was like throughout this whole day. You know, I know that you guys are extremely called team. I was mentioning it a little bit earlier on the stream, but did you feel the nerves at all? Or were you cool, calm, collected? Like, was there a moment where you saw that the energy was a little different?
Honestly, no. Like, all five, like, I feel like experience is actually really underestimated around here. I feel like I bring my team, like, to the lower, like, if they're feeling like really high pressure or anything, I really help them calm down. And I try to encourage everyone to just have fun and play your own game. Like, don't be nervous, like, play super confident. Because I do have some less experienced players on my team, and I just really try to bring, like, that chill vibe to the team, to be honest.
Animal did so good throughout the whole weekend so far. I want to say, how is she integrating herself? Is she super pumped to be there tomorrow with you girls.
Yeah, she's great. She's such an amazing. She's a streamer. Go check out her stream. She's been playing a lot of Valorant, like just nonstop, and I really admire that about her. She's a great player. She actually has the most insane heals I've ever seen in my life. Ever. Like,
She's always ready.
the heals are just on point.
I like her. I like the way she puts her walls. It's always so, cheeky. You never know which
Very
side
unique.
she's going to be on. It's been very interesting to see throughout the whole tournament. I have to also mention how some of the players are really coming out of their shell. Chobo and Naomi today were so fierce. It seemed like they were a little bit more quiet. Do you think that's where that experience for you to be able to lead them to just loosen up has been coming in for these players to just kind of explode?
I mean, everyone on my team is so very mellow and chill, and I think it translates to how they play in game. So when it comes to mid-round calling and stuff, it's been a little difficult, but I'm trying to get everybody on the same page as much as we could be.
Well, just one last question from me, because you absolutely popped off today. It's going to be really hard for me to even pinpoint one of your plays or one of your operator kills or one of your clutches as, the play of the day. But is there anything that sticks out to you? Was there anything that you felt like, oh, I smashed that? That was a highlight reel. That is Twitter worthy.
Guys, I'm serious when I say this. I never talk about my plays or do anything hey, look what I did, blah, blah, blah. But when I hit that ghost shot on the Raze alting midair on split,
oh yeah,
I in the next freeze time, all I said was, I wish you guys saw what I just did. And that's all I said.
Well, we caught that. Yeah, we had that. I'm really sorry, Steph, but that is all the time we have. But we will get to speak to Benita hopefully tomorrow after the best of 5. But thank you so much for your time, and best of luck in the grand finals tomorrow.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, that ghost flick, I saw you guys pop off in the chat oh my god, what was that? It was you guys should see our Discord. You guys at home see the production Discord, because it all day was just us being Benita, what is that? That's got to be the highlight. And then 5 minutes later, Steph would be no, we've got another one. We've got another one. And speaking of that, I do believe we have Flick of the Day ready for you guys. Of course, presented to you by AIM Lab. Very, very fitting there because there's no way that Benita doesn't aim train. Her aim is out of this world. Hopefully we're going to get that queued up for you guys soon. But before, we do have that now. Let's see which one it is. Oh, there's just too many. There's too many from today. Is that one? Yeah, it has to be
I like
that
one. I like that shot through the wall.
Yeah.
Shot through the wall.
There's even more. We're not done yet. I think I hope we get to see the pistol shot, because that was okay. No, never mind. We're just looping. My brain works. But still, Benita. There's so many to choose from. I don't know how they picked one out.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about the fact is that she obviously puts her team first, right? She has a lot of knowledge on how to sort of harness these players, how to get the best out of them, and what to do to win as a team. Because if it were me and I could do the things that she could do on Reyna, that's a no-brainer, right? That is something that you would put yourself on. But of course, Steph, she chooses to sort of step back a little bit, but that is the best thing that she's doing for her team right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Benita's career progression, because although she has sometimes been the leader into CSGO, she's been more that quiet person, that kind of does her thing, sometimes lurk, that 1v1 player that you can expect to disrupt at the other side of the map. But on this Valorant team, it's pretty much the opposite when it comes to having her be the leader, needing her to be the loudest, needing her to control the tempo and the emotions on the team, which is very interesting to see a player grow and evolve to be able to kind of pick up to the challenge. I'm missing a word between it. Step up to the challenge. Here we are. It's the end of the day for everyone, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think but the thing is, it's not just Benita stepping up in the team. I think what she does, like you were talking about how she's pretty selfless. She's not just here to frag out on Reina I mean, she does do that sometimes, and it's pretty impressive, but she puts the team first, like you mentioned, and that kind of builds the players up around her. We saw people like Chobo, who were maybe struggling a little bit more at the beginning of the tournament, really come into their own. And even over just a couple of days, I think we've seen the team grow together, and I think, well, not all of that is in her hands. I think the way that Benita's leading them and the way she's setting everyone up for success is really admirable.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow's best of 5 is going to be very interesting. With that in mind, let's take a final look at the bracket today, because 8 teams we started with 2 days ago, day 3 and day 3. We are finishing off with just 2. We had to say goodbye to Moon, Raccoons, and Dignitas today. But Steph, is this the final that you expected in the beginning of this week?
I mean, it's the final that I wanted, so let me be transparent, but I did not expect CLG to come in as strong versus Dig and Moon Raccoon. I expected these games to potentially go into 3 maps, overtime, etc. So CLG had to beat everyone to make it there. TSM, Dig, Moon Raccoon, even Owa. Like, you cannot say that CLG was not the better second team for tomorrow's grand final, because they didn't get away with it. You know, they had to work for it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that you guys have already made fun of me throughout it, but my predictions didn't really hold true all the time. But I think still that it's not the final I expected, but it's one I'm excited for, because I think the CLG we saw today is one that is like on fire and just invigorated and ready to go. And I want to see how they can clash with Cloud9 White, because I think with how well the Moon Raccoons did against them and with how much CLG was just kind of able to dismantle them in a lot of ways, I'm really excited to see what they can bring and how much of a fight they can put up, and maybe even if they can upset.
Oh, that would be the end of the Cinderella story, right? That is like the goal of the Miracle Run. But like I said, we had to say goodbye to Moon Raccoons and Dignitas, and now I have to say goodbye to the 2 of you, because you're not going to be back on stream with me tomorrow. Mimi, any last thoughts? What are your sort of overall takeaway from this tournament?
Overall, I think that I'm just, kind of the idea I was getting at earlier, with I'm just impressed by how much everyone grew, even just a couple days. So many of these teams are new, so many of these teams are unknown quantities, and even the ones who got knocked down a little bit earlier, I was impressed with, and I think that this is just like the beginning for the women's scene in North America, and how it's going to grow, and who we're going to see, and that maybe C9 White, I think they're going to have some competition now.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm so incredibly grateful to have been a part of this broadcast. You know, that scene is just gonna be popping. We have so many players to be inspired from. This is just the beginning, and it was a pleasure and an honor to be able to witness this and even share a little bit of my Frenchiness to everyone at home. I'm super excited to have discovered not only new players as well as new people to work with, from you, Yinsu, as to everyone that we were able to meet this weekend with Mimi, my tremendous fire duo. I'm just, thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, it's been an honor for me as well. But thank you so much, Miss Harvey and Evil Cat, for joining me once again. I also got to say thank you to Tanner and Sam as well for earlier, and of course to our sponsors Verizon and AimLab. Thank you most of all to you guys for watching at home. We will be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Time with the grand finals between C9 White and CLG Red. You guys do not want to miss this one. We'll see you then.
One enemy remaining.